time has come, sadly, maybe sadly, to replace the machine heads, tuners, on my Gibson SG. I'm going to replace them with Kluson, well, Tonepros Kluson style upgrade tuning machines, which I got really cheap at StewMac. They were on sale, so I grabbed my opportunity. Why am I changing? Well, I have to say, just doing that demo of the tuning, it looked really cool, I have to say. It kind of it seems like the future. It seems like that sort of utopia, that panacea, that sort of, oh yeah, your guitar's always in tune. Sadly, it falls a little bit short of that. Now I have to say, that tuning I just did, it did work actually quite well. If you can hear that, that's in tune, according to my snark anyway. But it's not always like that. It's sometimes a bar or even 2 bars out, usually sharp. When I tuned it up just before the video, the top string was in tune, but the others were all slightly sharp, which is a little bit annoying. One main reason, though, I'm changing the tuners is I don't think a system like this is entirely appropriate for a Gibson SG. That the whole style of this guitar, it's very neck heavy, and this just adds to the weight on the neck and the headstock and unbalances the whole guitar. Now I've improved things somewhat by putting a Bigsby on, as you can see, and now I have a balance point about there, which isn't too bad. It's behind the strap button, which is, let's face it, what you need. But it wasn't like that originally. I should point out that I could move the strap button onto the upper horn, which would certainly help with getting the guitar balanced. But I'm hoping, and I will check this, that these machines are lighter than the min-ETune system. This, I think, is 2013 min-ETune. I think the following year they renamed it to GeForce. I don't know whether it was improved. Hopefully it was. It might just be that this is the first version that wasn't really that great. It's probably good enough for a lot of people, but I can't have a guitar that randomly will sometimes go sharp when I tune it. Yeah. Another thing, though, which it's the length of time it takes to tune. I play in a function band, and we don't have any gaps between the songs. It's done sort of DJ style. So if I do any tuning at all during the set, it's got to be sort of during intros or outros or whatever that don't involve me, and some songs don't involve me, so I can have a quick tune then. But it just takes, it seems to take forever to retune, and it's, yeah, going into drop D, I can do that quicker than it can. Drop D, you just quick turn clockwise. There's another thing. For some weird reason, the tuners on the bass side are the opposite way round on this. You have to turn them anti-clockwise to go flat, to take it down to a D. Now on a regular system, it's usually about half a turn gets you to just below the D, and then you can play the octave, and then you can just get it so that it's not beating, or you can look at your tuner on the floor and just quickly put it into tune. I can do that much quicker than that. In fact, I'll show you. Let's just try that. This is how to go into drop D, if I remember this correctly. Switch on. Hit the same button again to go back into tuning mode. That's standard. I think that's open D. That is drop D. So we then select that. It drops down, and then we go into tuning mode. And we're there. Which, yeah, that was reasonably quick, but we had to retune all the other strings, which, let's face it, you will have to a certain extent anyway. But I wouldn't normally, if I'm going into drop D, I wouldn't normally bother touching all the other strings. I'd just bother about the bottom string. So let's just see how accurate that's ended up now in tuning wise. So that's a little bit flat, 2 bars flat. That seems okay. That's a little bit flat, 1 bar flat. I think that's in tune. That looks like it's sharp. 1 bar sharp. And that's sharp. A little bit disappointing, that tuning. It can tune accurately, but it didn't then. This video is not me telling you the best way to go about doing this. I got these really cheap. I just grabbed my opportunity to get a set of tuners that are style compatible. They are Gibson style, vintage style tuners. Kluson style, made by Tonepros. I believe that it says Kluson, established 1925. Don't know whether Kluson and Tonepros are the same company or whether they just got licensed to make Kluson style tuners. I don't know, but I got these from StuMac and they were really cheap. They were 70% off. I got them for $30-something, which I'm really pleased about. So I'm quite happy with these, but they're not perfect. They're not the lightest. There are, I think, Spertzel tuners which are much lighter than these, and they're not directly compatible. The original min-ETune tuners have screw-on that they bolt from the front. They've got nuts around the bushings. Well, they don't use a press-in bushing, whereas these do. These are the old style, and you press a bush into the hole from the front. And I don't think the hole in the headstock is the same size as these bushings. There is a very easy way around this, though, which I will come to later: conversion bushings. Yeah, so technically they might not be the best. You might prefer locking tuners, you might prefer Gibson Grover locking tuners. There are all sorts of different tuners. This isn't me telling you the best way to do it. This is just me fitting this particular set of tuners. So yeah, let's get on with it. One more thing to show you on the operation of this. They don't tell you about this in the single sheet quick start guide that they give you with the guitar from new. You have to go and download it off the internet, and that is how to unwind the strings for changing the strings and wind them back up again. They tell you not to use a string winder. I think that's because you'll generate a current by working the motor backwards on itself, and that, I guess, could damage the circuitry. I think they're okay with you just tweaking the tuning manually, but you mustn't do it quickly, I think. Anyway, there is a function in here to undo the strings, and that is you press on. You press on again, that goes into the tuning mode. Now you press up and hold it, everything turns white, and that E is the mode we want, so we select that, and now we can hit down on the E string and it slackens off the E string. That's now, let's do it a bit more, and then the next string, and we can slacken that off. Next string, slacken that off, and so on. Actually, I usually don't unscrew the whole of one side first. I usually alternate them, but I don't know that that's necessary. Let's just keep doing it. So I suppose that's handy, but it's such a obscure menu function, and they don't tell you about it from new with the instructions with the guitar, which I find a bit odd. Careful not to spike yourself on the strings. Slightly weird the way these locking tuners work, in that the strings don't actually go through. Oops. The strings don't actually go through the post. They just get gripped like an electrical terminal, which I find slightly odd. Now it should be simply a matter 12mm socket. We should be able to simply remove all of these. It doesn't feel very tight, is this? Wow, yeah, they're very loosely anchored. I wonder if I could take the last one off by hand. No, at least they are done up tighter than hand tight. There was no resistance there at all. It really is this simple. And that's all there is to it. Here's the problem with using these Kluson tuners that aren't a direct swap-in screw adapter. These are 8.7mm bushings with the Klusons. These are 10.3mm holes, and the bushings don't fit. But fear not, what we need are conversion bushings, also purchased from StewMac. These are 10.3, the same as the hole, 10.3 as an exact fraction of an inch equivalent, I believe, and we will just press those in. I'm not going to press those in yet because I want to check the weight of these, but the holes in the centre are the same, so we're all ready to go. The weight coming off the headstock is 258 grams, and the weight going on the headstock plus a plastic bag is 177 grams. So I'm saving 80 grams, which is about a third of the weight that we've taken off, or half of the weight that we're putting on. It's just a thought. If you ever intend to take these out again, and I've just noticed I might want to put a polish on this first. If these ever need to come out again, it might be an idea just to put a countersink around the edge of the hole, just so that it doesn't splinter when pressing them out, but I don't think I'm ever going to take these out. I'm just wondering how bothered I am by the fact I'm probably not going to polish that out. There's just a little bit of a mark around each hole. This is why putting screw-in tuners might be a better option. I could of course put the washers back on, but I need to keep the washers in case I want to put the electronic tuning on another. What's going on? Perfect. This is so much easier than hammering. I'm very nervous about hammering on headstocks. Oh, got twisted. press home. These aren't coming out anytime soon. You can feel them pop in. Once you've got it in the first millimetre or so, they then just slide in the rest of the way until the clamp just sort of locks up. Right, those are all in. I'm tempted to drill these first, actually, to use as a reference to fix the others. Having put those in, it's now easier to mark those out using them as a reference, really, which I will now do. You know what, I think I'm going to do these one at a time. Mark them, drill them, and then fix the next one in next to it. Put a bit of a bend in the string by the ball end, and because we put a bend on the string, it should stay there. Bingo. Measure 3 fingers or 1.5 tuner lengths from the nut and stick a little right angle in the string. Thread it through. Like so. Take it once over the top, and then all subsequent windings are underneath. And that is the proper way to string a guitar. For the bass string, you don't need so much spare, just a couple of fingers next tuning peg. But same method, stick a right angle in the string, thread it through, take it once over the top, and in fact I'm going to wind this around rather than try and loop it myself. Yeah, I've got quite so much string to play with here. So once over the top, and then all the other windings go underneath. In other words, this bit comes over the top, like so. Success! I think it might have drifted out of tune a little bit, so I have to retune it. I hope that was useful. The main thing here is that the balance point has moved back a little bit that way, which is very useful. So success all round. Hope you enjoyed this. Comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, go nuts, I don't know. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Ow.